It's a beautiful Saturday morning, and we're much obliged to have you join us on the program Politics Today, reaching you live on independent television and radio. And that's because it's a simulcast from any part of the world. You can watch us live. You can also listen to us live via our website, www.itvradionigeriacom/live. For radio, just click on the radio live stream option on the website, and of course you can receive us loud and clear. Follow us using any of our social media platforms as we get this discussion underway, and of course we'll acknowledge it in the course of the program. Today on Politics Today, our focus is on the Edo State House of Assembly impeachment and the reactions that have trailed it. And then, of course, we also have the attack on ESCC headquarters recently, which, of course, has also attracted a lot of reactions against the background that it was alleged that the attackers or the assailants left a note of warning to a particular person in the EFCC hierarchy. But while we were on that, the news came in this morning, beginning from yesterday, that PMB will soon be in the country. Some say today, some say tomorrow, some say he will resume on Monday. But of course, there is a statement, even though we cannot independently verify it, coming from Additional, the special advisor on media, that has been on major newspapers and of course on the social media. But first, let's welcome our panelists for the discussion today. I'd like to welcome to the studio an elder statesman, a politician, public affairs commentator, Barrister Gentleman Amego is a regular on our program. Barrister Amego, many thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I also want to welcome to the studio a labor leader, in fact, the National Vice President of United Labour Congress of Nigeria, Comrade Kelly Stephen Ogbaloy. Many thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much. It's my pleasure to be with you.
I also have with us in the studio a man of God, a pastor of pastors, a teacher, a youth leader, because he's the publicity director in the youth arm of PFN. I'd like to welcome very especially a very good friend. Now you know, the name just escaped me. I can't lie. Pastor Phil Aroji, many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you,
well, my name as always is Sonny Duke Okosun, your host on the program. Now, I'm just wondering, where do we start from? But as they say, charity begins at home. So we'll take off from home on the discussion segment of the show. Okay, yeah. So just a few days ago, we saw a leadership change in the Edo State House of Assembly. That leadership change saw the impeachment of the former Speaker, Dr. Justin Okonobo, and then, of course, the incoming of Kabiru Ajuto as the Speaker, and then, of course, former Speaker again, Victor Adoro, becoming the Deputy Speaker. That has kept tongues wagging in the last couple of days. What does the import of this for the state? That's our take-off point. And let me start with Barrister Gentleman Amego. Some say all over the world, the parliament is always a hotbed where you have this kind of things happen. So, was it a surprise to you?
Well, let me lay the foundation this way, Duke. It is very difficult to manage success. It is easier to manage failure than to manage success. When people fail, you say, okay, let's go back to the drawing board and see what we did wrong at any given time. But when you want to manage success, everybody now comes on board to say, oh, I want this, I want that. That is why it is very difficult. But coming specifically to the change of button in Edo State House of Assembly, we'll be having it. We don't have to worry how many times we have it, because this is just one family. Coming from 18 local governments of the state to gather together, there are bound to be differences. And in any case, power, even in the Bible, you know, you take, by violence you take, Pastor.
Yes.
By violence you take over the kingdom of God. By violence, there is nowhere in the world where you can get power on a platter of gold. Let me take you on a meta journey right now. Go to Sudan. See how many people have died in Sudan because of power. Go to Syria. You know how many millions of people have been killed just because of one man. Go to Turkey. President Erdogan has been in power and so many people have died. In fact, almost 1 million now are still in detention. And the people are saying kill them for ever opposing Erdogan. Look at small microscopic North Korea right now. It's shaking the whole world. Look at when the Zuma was to face a test the other day, how many people died? So there is no way you are looking for power that you get it on a platter of gold. In politics, we have what we call SMS. Some must suffer so that others can grow. Let somebody tell me where power has been gotten on a platter of gold. Come back to Edo State, sir. We have had situations in Edo State where rules have been removed because of power, because they want to change the party. We have had situations where all the talks in Nigeria will gather in about 400 square to change leadership of House of Assembly. But this last one was very mild. People took the hammer like baton. Who did he hit? He didn't hit anybody. The maze was there. Nobody touched the maze. They used a true check at who? Who was injured? 4 people were beating one other man. What injury did he sustain? Precisely what to say, they were only acting. And when they told the former speaker, get out, he got up quietly and an opposition for that matter sat on the chair. An opposition, negligible minority, sat on the chair. Said, the gentleman said, sit down, sit down. And he had told us, nobody was injured. They took over quietly. So if they did not do that, they could probably not have succeeded. So I am saying that there is no way you get power without struggle. And in the process of struggling, something must happen. Okay. I hear some people now condemn me, this has been the mildest takeover in Edo State.
So in a nutshell, is in order as far as you're concerned?
All over the world, people have walked across the aisles to go and slap their opponents in parliament. Everywhere in the world, everywhere. I think that is democracy. Okay. If Charles de Gaulle once said, war in itself, war is a continuation of politics. War, real war is a continuation of politics. So what they are doing in the House of Assembly is acting. They were just acting, and I was just laughing and looking at them. The man to be praised in all of this is the governor of Edo State. He heard, he saw, he said nothing. Because that is their own family. They can do whatever they like. I salute him.
Okay. All right, comrades, I'm sure you followed this event in the House carefully. People have been talking about the fact that these are honorable members, okay, representing the different constituents. I mean, does that have any implication at all? Seeing the way that they were trained chairs, as someone trying to do character and all of that, yeah. But Barrister said they were just play acting. Yeah, do you subscribe to that?
Well, I am afraid it's difficult to subscribe to that entirely. But what I do not want to bring in here is that spiritual perspective, which says that, well, you must take things by force. I don't know how that works in the perspective of human beings. But I think that I have no problem with change of leadership, really. But what I have problem with is the method of change. Any leadership change that appeared to me that is scoop in nature is not what should be accepted. Like you have just mentioned, they are representing constituents and other constituencies. And by the time you throw karat in the House of Assembly, is that why you are there? We ask ourselves questions. What are the impacts the House have made so far to rub off positively on the part of those people they represent before they fight? So we think that there should have been a better way of changing leadership than the show of shame we saw. That the entire world does not make it right in any case. The argument I've had is that, that is what it is all over the world. But does it make it right? It doesn't. It doesn't. So I can't subscribe to the fact that this practice is the best that can happen in the House of Assembly in change of leadership.
But we have worse scenarios. I mean, we've had worse scenarios.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So I'm saying that yes, it's a worse scenario. What have you seen recently about that? Yes, like Oga said, like the barrister said, there are wars here and there about change of leadership. What kind of leadership in that respect are we talking about?
Okay.
What kind of leadership is that is causing war? So in recent time, which of the houses outside this country have fought in the manner they did? Which of the National Assembly, which of the law-making body that you can externally compare in recent time?
National Assembly?
Outside Nigeria.
Okay.
When people say it happens all the whole world, like I said, that everybody does one wrong thing does not make it right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So we need to change.
Okay. All right, Pastor Phil. Is this one leadership change too many? I mean, we recall you're very much abreast with this. I mean, one morning we had somebody on, and then the following morning the deputy became. I mean, is this one change too many in the house?
Thank you very much. Some time ago, I said that the demons that used to be in the churches have actually moved away from churches because we have dealt with them sufficiently, and they are now in government houses, House of Assembly, where of course the devil knows that he can manipulate people to take decisions that will impact the people negatively, since he couldn't do that in church anymore. And that's playing out. Let's situate it properly. This current House of Edo State Assembly has been there for like about 27 months. And this is the 4th time they're having a new speaker. First it was Adoro, who was there for like almost a year or thereabouts. And then Elizabeth Ative came in and spent 84 days. Thereafter, Justin Okonobo came and spent almost 1 year and thereabouts in a few months. And then we see this. I didn't believe, I've been trying to make sure that I didn't believe that it was the honorable members that I saw in the video. But since it's coming from Barrister, who is a party chieftain of the APC, I now believe that it was the honorable members. I was actually thinking or looking for an opportunity to say that those talks that came to the House of Assembly on Monday to come and throw chairs and carry gavel, one of the instruments of authority of the speaker, to hit a colleague or to hit someone else, that they ought to apologize. But since I now know that it is the honorable member, then I'm taken aback. I deal on leadership. I teach people leadership. There are 5 levels of leadership. The level at which leadership of the National Assembly, of the House of Assembly or National Assembly is level 2. And that is leadership by permission. The first one is leadership by position, where you are appointed. But when you get to level 2 by permission, it is the people that you lead that decide that they want you to lead them. Now, what happens at that level is that you must connect to the people. People who remain at that level are not able to move on to leadership by development, where you ought to develop people and relate to them. What we have found in the House of Assembly is that over the years, the leaders have not been able to develop and move on from level 2 to level 3, which is leadership by people development, and then by production, and then of course you get to personhood. The only a few persons have gotten to leadership of personhood in politics in Africa, and that's Nelson Mandela, where you no longer need title. Not many Nigerians or many Africans know that Nelson Mandela was a lawyer, where you don't need title to describe yourself. Once they mention Nelson Mandela, whether you add doctor or barrister, they know who he is. So, but these people have not been able to develop themselves. And in life, even in church, somebody who is at level 2 of leadership can really not lead somebody who is at level 5 in leadership. If a pastor remains at level 2 and he finds someone who is coming from outside to be a member of his church, he can't lead him. So he keep moving. What is happening in the Edo State House is a shame. In the last couple of days, I was seeing letters on the social media how that the clerk wrote to the former speaker, deputy speaker, to return the vehicles, and then she said the governor gave it to me and all the rest. And I'm wondering what is happening. And according to the letter that has been branded on social media, there were some reports they made that the governor said because we need to balance the power of the state.
Exactly.
Now, has that power balance? I'm from Edo South. I'm from Urion. But I speak clearly. if you wanted Edo Central to have speaker before the election so that the power will balance, why take this thing from them now, 9 months after the election? Has the power balance? Now, the same people, you did the news report maybe on Tuesday or so, quoting some persons in the House of Assembly who actually said that Victor Edoro was self-centered and he was mismanaging the fund of the House. The same people have now elevated him to become the Deputy Speaker. What has happened? So it's a show of shame. It's an embarrassment that in 27 months we have 4 speakers. And I hope this is not a matter of another 84 days. You now, the speaker will now step down and then the deputy will now step in. And then Jeep will exchange hands and eventually a letter will be written and then it will now say, okay, to compensate you. Okay. It's an embarrassment. Edo State has developed more than this. On Tuesday, Channels did a comprehensive report on this. It's an embarrassment that Edo State is what is being showed all over the world. It's a shame. It's an embarrassment to the governor. It's an embarrassment to the government. It's an embarrassment to every Edo man. And I'm ashamed to say I'm an Edo man when it comes to the issue of what is happening in the House of Assembly. I condemn it and I will not say it is what happens all over the world.
Let me just throw in one thing.
Yeah, I wanted to raise 2 issues that has come forth from this leadership change at the State House of Assembly. One is the one he mentioned, where the clerk wrote to the former Deputy Speaker asking her to return the vehicles with her. And then she came up with a defense that those cars were given to her by the former governor because of the role she played, because of the sacrifices she made for the stability of politics in Edo State. That's on the one hand. And then a major fallout from that is that this new leadership change, what does it portend for the stability in terms of political positioning in Edo State from the 3 senatorial districts? Since you raised your hand, maybe I could start with you on that.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is that everybody tends to be talking to House of Assembly. Even in churches, like my respected pastor just said, people fight for leadership in churches. Sure. They break down their houses. Even the devil that have been sent away from there are there at that time when they are doing what they are doing. He just said the devil has sent from churches.
No, that's why we change them out.
They are back. You are aware that churches have been destroyed because of leadership. My argument is that leadership doesn't come on a platter of gold anywhere in the world. Yes, the majority can be wrong. I agree with you that the majority could be wrong, but does it make it about does it happen? My argument is that it happens everywhere. It may not make it right, but except you go back to heaven and bring all the saints tonight to the world to come and organize all this. Let me tell you an example. I was attacked by about 300 people. Who am I to stand 300 people? We were acting, hey, come on, beat me, I'll beat you now. For over 300 people, I was alone fighting with them. I was stupid to have been doing that. They too knew that they were not there to kill me, but everybody was acting. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, that in the House of Assembly, they were only just acting. Okay. Nobody was out to kill anybody. Okay. But let's come to your question.
Two quick issues that I raised. Yeah. Number one, on the letter purportedly written by the former governor to the former deputy speaker saying those cars are now her personal property. Yes. It's flying in the social media, even though we cannot independently verify that. Yeah.
That's right. Again, we are not competent to go into that here. We have to find out exactly what happened, whether they were actually given by the governor. And if they were given by the governor, then they are ours. So that we cannot go until you just said verification until we verify the authenticity of the claim of one party and the other. Okay. So we have to hold on that.
Okay. But let me just read an excerpt of the letter. It says, I wish to convey my compliments and recall the discussion between the leadership of Edo State House of Assembly and the executive branch on the geopolitical stability of Edo State and the need to engender equity, fairness, and sense of belonging amongst all sections and citizens of our dear state. Given the exceptional circumstances surrounding the issues, in an explicit acknowledgement of the enormous sacrifices you are required to make for the peace, security, stability, and well-being of our beloved state, the official vehicles attached to the office of the Speaker are now personal to you. The letter was written to Right Honorable Chief Mrs. Elizabeth RTV, Honorable Speaker, Edo State House of Assembly, Benin City, and of course dated 19th July 2016. and signed by Adams Aliu Oshomole. Well, I said before, we
You
cannot
go to-
independently
if you want
verify
to disprove this, then you go to court.
Yes, yes. So that's
See,
that's
on the
that's
question
what's
of-
on Facebook
Yes,
and
sir.
other social media at the moment, and that's what the former deputy speaker is laying claims to in holding on to those vehicles. I want to get a comment on this, comrade.
Well, before that, let me
Yeah.
quickly say that
Yeah.
the House of Assembly is a very serious house. It's a serious place where serious business are expected to be done. So if the honorable members have gone there to act a play, they had better go to a theater and act theater to do the play. It is not the House of Assembly. You have so many serious things that are needed to be done there. So I am also going to remove myself from agreeing that they were acting.
Okay.
That is not where to act.
Okay, so you're saying we have Oba Kenzo Cultural
Yes,
the theater,
yes.
and several event centers.
Yes,
Okay, where we
that's
can
where they
have
should
plays.
be,
Okay.
not done the House of Assembly. So they couldn't be acting.
Okay, okay.
So listen to this. Well, again, we have come to it, and that is the complications of how government works. Well, like has been said, we may not be able to lay claim to this entirely to say it's correct.
Yes.
Because it's in the social media.
Media.
But for whatever it is clear there that a statement was made.
Yeah.
Because everyone would have said that, well, there are rumors. Rumors may not connote total actual facts, but there are elements of certain facts left there.
Yeah.
And if the lady is laying claims to this, then of course she should have also appreciate the enormity of her action if she's laying claim to anything of that sort. Okay. So that is why we may not be able to entirely say, no, that is nonsense, put it aside. My comment here is that they should quickly subject this to cross-check and make the public know the exact position, so that we don't keep it in a situation where everybody begin to doubt. Otherwise, this was a letter written, clearly written, and makes the property personal to us.
Exactly.
That's the way it is.
Okay. That's the way it is.
Okay.
There's a question that has not been answered. The balance of power within the state.
That's exactly where I'm coming
I wanted to say
yes,
something.
yes, yes, yes.
I want the, you see, yes, we said this goes to this central. These are no laws. They are conventions.
There are no laws
There are
binding
no
on
laws.
this.
There are no laws saying that when one comes from that side, there are no laws. They are just conventions. And conventions, like everybody knows, is not a law. We obey it based on morality. If for any reason we want to change, we can change because it's a convention. However, we know that there are not many members of House Assembly from Edo Central. We have Edoro, we have Dr. Okonobo, and I'm not sure we have another one there, and those two people have been tried. If they have not succeeded one way or the other, then let's try somebody else. And that's what they have gone. If because of the law, if it was the law, nobody would have tried it.
Okay.
You see, you can jettison convention at any time.
But sorry,
Yes.
if a convention seems to convey some level of equity and stability.
That's morality. You're talking about morality,
yes,
not law.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, morality.
Yes.
Yes, when you bring it side by side by the law, law is expected to take precedence, isn't it?
Yes.
But I'm saying on the ordinary,
Yes.
if morality seems to stabilize a polity, do we need to change it? That's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
Morality may not be law,
Yeah.
but if a particular morality is to bring equity, now as we speak now, there are certain certain discontentment within the Edo Central as we speak. Will that bring about stability?
Okay. All right, Pastor Phil.
I think that what is good is good.
Yes.
And I hope that tomorrow, okay, 2 ways. I suspect maybe tomorrow there'll be a stepping down for a stepping
Precisely.
up. I
It's
suspect
a
that
possibility.
maybe this whole thing, as Oga has said,
The play acting,
yes, the acting is still ongoing.
right.
Okay.
Now,
They will still eventually after
Exactly.
fight before this,
Now,
the acting will
I
not
didn't want to
balance.
say that.
We even carry it. So that's one. Number two, he's from the ground, from Orion. God forbid, supposing anything happens tomorrow, and the governor, the speaker, or anybody goes again to the same senatorial district that the governor has come from, what happens? I hope we'll still leave it at the level of
We say it's a convention.
convention. I hope we won't talk. People from Edo South won't talk, because that's the point where we are. So this issue in the Edo South Assembly, he mentioned the issue of removal of roof. If we go that way, we'll have problem. with the ACN and the APC. It was still under the same political party. That roof was removed. And then the House of Assembly members went to government house in the old Esco chamber and started sitting there.
Yes.
How long are we going to have this crisis?
You
Because
can
we
imagine
thought that PDP wasn't good,
Yes.
and then we supported ACN,
Yes.
and then eventually APC now, and then we're having the same problem. In 2005, 2006, the then governor of Edo State was deregistered by his party, the PDP. That's what led to the downfall of PDP in Edo State. That was when Grace Group emerged. Because members of Grace Group with the then governor, Lucky Igbenedion, was deregistered by a few cabals in the PDP then in Edo State. I hope APC will lead us in that direction.
We are not leading you there. We will get there.
With this fighting and this quarreling and carrying of gather, these same people.
Gave was not touched.
The
no,
gather was.
let's take one at a time.
No, but the point is that there was a fight.
Let me.
But there was
Sir,
there was a similar.
Let's go back to the days of ACN in Edo State, not distant past.
Yeah.
Play your videos. You will see that it's the same people who fought now that still fought then. They were the same people who were jumping from that had their boys jumping from the gallery of the House of Assembly and all that. The same people, play the video, put it together. The same people, they are still there.
Okay, so we'll keep our fingers crossed and watch proceedings at the Edo State House of Assembly. Like some have said, it's a drama that is ongoing. Maybe the script for the next phase is being written now, and we'll see how it unfolds. But one thing is certain, there has been some level of discontent with the polity, particularly in Edo Central and Edo District, who feels eliminated from what's going on right now in the state. But if you've been to that district in recent times, I'm sure you'll weep for the people there, particularly the state of roads, whether federal roads, whether state roads. I mean, they are in a state of disrepair, but that is not the focus of our discussions today. As usual, our studio lines will be open in the last quarter of the show, so you can call and make a contribution. You can also follow us on our Twitter handle at ITV Radio NG. Follow me on my personal Twitter handle at Chikuko. So share a comment there. We'll analyze it in the course of the program. Okay, let's quickly go to our next issue, which seems to be really trending at the moment, that PMB is set to return to the country. There is a press release signed by Femi Adesina, who is the special advisor to the president on media, that has been making the round in recent times, of course, which is confirming that. I read it. It says, President Muhammadu Buhari returns to the country later today. After receiving medical attention in London, the president had left the country on May 7 this year after handing over power to Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who has functioned as acting president since then. The president is expected to speak to Nigerians in a broadcast by 7 a.m. on Monday, August 21, 2017. He thanks all Nigerians who have prayed ceaselessly for his recovery and well-being since the beginning of the health challenge. Femi Adesina, special advisor to the president, media and publicity, signed dated August 19, 2017. So, gentlemen, this is breaking, as it were, because people didn't expect this. What we have seen is a situation where Nigerians move in droves to pay a visit to Mr. President in London. Barrister Mego, did you expect this?
I didn't know that Mr. President is well enough now to return back to Nigeria. I also saw this in social media. I hope it is correct. When Adeboye visited him a few days ago, he was still looking so frail. The picture came out and his sympathy with him, great sympathy. He was looking so frail. But when I now read this morning that he will be coming on Monday, the question I asked myself is he fit to come back now? If he's fit to come back, so be it. But you see, what I want to say is that nobody wants to be sick. Nobody likes it. He was able to campaign all through 36 states of this federation. He was strong enough at the time. But now he has fallen sick. Maybe he overworked himself at his age. He's fallen sick, but he's alive. His tenure goes on too. So if he comes, well and good. If he doesn't come, we have an acting president. He goes on to act for him as long as he's there. But the question, a lot of people say, how long? But the government of the country is going on. with or without him, is going on. Osibajo has all the power, 100% power now to do what Mr. President must do. Are we going to bury him when he's alive? So he's still there. We are praying for him to come.
Okay.
I'm not surprised about anything about him because he's sick.
Okay. There is no report about his health to give an insight into the state of his health. If he's healthy, yes, he can come back.
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Can you build on that?
Well, we have heard all of these stories. He's sick, he's not well, he's coming today, he's coming tomorrow, and all of that. To me, yes, if he's well now, let's hope he's well now, and he's coming to the country, okay, yes, he should come. But to me, if he's not well properly, like he has rightly said, that he hope he's truly well. The barrister mentioned that now, that he hope he's truly well. To me, if he's not truly well, because we are used to the fact that he has not been in the country,
Exactly.
then he should remain where he is, to be well properly before coming to Nigeria. But what I do not agree with is that the country is running well in its absence. I do not think I agree with that.
Why don't you agree with that?
Because I do not see what is running well here. What is running well? What powers has Osibajo so far? What has he done so far to appear that he's actually carrying on, with every power that he has taken from the president? We need to look at what delegation means. It's to an extent that the man that delegates to you has the beauty of what you do. So to me, Osibajo is highly limited. He does not have the power to do so much as we speak. Otherwise, the rules are not fixed. Are they fixed? They are not fixed. So many other things. The hospitals are not working well. Prices are still at the rooftop as we speak. Are they where they're supposed to be? Is the economy better improved? The dollar still sell for 300 or something, and it's there. Is that where the better place should be pegged? Agree that it's not fluctuating now. So what is working in the country are we talking about? Is the insurgency entirely out? You can always say to us that, well, it's reduced, but is it entirely out? The cheaper girls are not finished where they are kidnapped. And so many other things like that. The what do you call this money they discovered in one tower in Lagos, and the committee was set up. As we speak, Osibajo was supposed to be the chairman of that committee. As we speak, what has happened to that? That load of money that was at a point in time ownerless. What has happened to them? And now if you are suspended people on the basis of the fact that they were alleged to have had their hands in that, the people remain suspended. That is injustice. Because whether they are culpable or not, now nobody has found out. And you say the country is running?
Okay.
To me, I do not think the country is running well. But if it's well now to come to Nigeria, so be it, like he has said. But it would have been better not to deceive us by way of saying, let him come and show up and go back. That would be nonsensical.
Okay, so we'll keep our fingers crossed on that one, comrade. Pastor Phil, some have also said that, well, this time around, acting president seems to have slowed down compared to the first time that he, took charge and all of that. Can you relate with that?
But that's the truth. We was acting president, is not acting president. The reality is that Nigeria have not had a president for the past 103 days. That's the truth. We go back to the documents. When Mr. President was traveling in February, he wrote to the National Assembly that Osibajo will act. When he extended his stay, he wrote another letter that Osibajo will continue to act while he's away. They are there, public documents. Then when he came back, that was around May 9th or May 10th. That was the worst day for us in Bende. When we were crying that Ubumudia had died, suddenly PMB arrived. Very bad day. And then for a long period, of course, when he came, he wrote to the National Assembly, he has come, he has taken over. And then for a long period, he was not able even to attend the FEC meeting before he had to go back sometime around May. The then president, acting president, was able to send the name of Justice Onoge to the National Assembly. The National Assembly screened him, and then he swore him in as the Chief Justice of the Federation when he was acting. When the president was going back to London on May 7th, Sunday, May 7th, he wrote to the National Assembly that Professor Osibanjo will be the coordinator of the government, not acting president. So Nigeria has not had a president for over 100 days. He is coordinator of the government. Coordinator of the government, now we now know better that somebody who acted in the place of the president has the power to swear in the chief justice of the federation. The person who is coordinating government have no power to do so many things. Like Comrade had mentioned, what is working, sir, in this country? Inflation had remained at about 17 point something percent as at today. When the government came in 2 years ago, inflation was less than, it was single digit. Let's agree that, oh, they were not the cause of all the problem. If you are not the cause of all the problem, don't create more problems for Nigeria. So the man who acted and the man who coordinated the government are not the same thing entirely at all. On the head of Mr. President, any adult who has been sick will appreciate God for his health and will also empathize, not just sympathize, will empathize with him. He's old. IBB, when they were in the army, he was older than the IBB, was an IBB. But as of today, IBB is 76, he is 74. Something has happened. I don't know. No, I'm telling you now
what the import of that. But
I'm coming.
Let's put
his age. His age. So if he's sick, it's okay. It's not too bad.
Well, you said when they were in the army,
yes, now
he was older than IBB.
Now IBB is 76, he is 74. So something is happening. That's part of it.
Okay.
Sir, what I'm saying is this. Why are you coming back now? When only a few days ago, when the media team visited him, he told the whole world that he has learned to obey his doctors. In fact, Femi Adesina quoted him that Mr. President used to give orders in the army. Now he has learned to take orders. Is there in the social media? How come now that you want to come back after 2 days?
The doctors may have told him that he's free to come to the country.
I hope when it comes today, do the recording for the broadcast, because the recording will be done. It's not a live thing. Do it tomorrow. They do the broadcast on Monday. He will be able to preside over the FED meeting on Wednesday. Okay. If he cannot, like they have said, let him remain in London.
Okay. Now let's just take this angle to this discussion. His coming seems to have coincided with the series of protests of resume or return or resume or resign protests that we have seen, both locally and then of course even in UK. Is there something we can, is there any correlation, Barrister Gentleman? We've seen that, protest in recent times in Abuja, and then of course
I have seen the protest for and against. I sympathize with both parties because I don't think that's where we are. The president is sick. He himself admitted, I have never been this sick all my life. He's sick. You can't be asking for it. He has given his, except you want to chastise Osibanjo and say that he's not competent. He has given all his powers to Osibanjo to act as president. Call him coordinator, whatever you call him.
Yes, coordinator of the government.
Whatever.
That's what he was
call him, yeah, but he has all the power. And in fact, he has it on 100% basis. And so he can act fully on behalf of the president. But if things are not working and you want to challenge Osibanjo that is not doing enough, challenge him. So those who are protesting are idle because the man is sick. What are you going to do? You want to go and bring a sick man, and like Pastor is saying, he must attend the FEC. Why must he attend?
If he's coming back to resume, he must attend FEC on
Wednesday. Before he left, he were taking material to him to sign at home.
So he can still be working at home, then he should stay there and take care of his
That's simple.
That's what we are saying. Let him remain there, be well before coming back.
You see, currently, nobody is quarreling with whether he's sick or he's well.
Yes.
We have accepted that, look, you are not well. Go and take care of yourself. Don't deceive us. Don't deceive us. I want to
they are acting.
No, sorry, sir. If he's sick as to the extent to which we are talking about now, then will he be responding to a demonstration in Nigeria? Will he?
He will not.
To return?
He will not. He will not even bother.
So that's what I'm saying.
He won't even address that issue.
So if it's coming out to be like the question you ask, if it's a correlation that perhaps it's rushing down on the basis of the fact that people are, agitating should return
or resign,
then if he's truly sick, if that is truly sick in that position,
Do you think he should respond to that? A man who is sick now in the hospital here. Yeah. They say your family, they say make you come home quick, and he's truly sick.
You won't go.
He won't go. Yes. So the point we are making is that there is no point responding to such agitations.
Exactly.
If you are sick. Yes. So to now start rushing back means that there's something in it, and we are saying there is no point you rushing down, thinking that you are responding to those agitations. If you are sick, as we are talking about, the problem is that here in Nigeria, like he described power. Power is that we try to turn power in a way that it appears if all our life depended on it. There are people who will never be governors throughout their lifetime. Yes. And they will live normal life and go. Is that not correct?
Sure. Yes.
So why will a man be sick and hang to government and making the whole of us sick in this country?
Because you are not anxious for power. That's why you talk the way you talk. You know what's power?
No, you should not be. That action you are talking about is the offense there. You cannot be that action to the detriment of the people of this country. How can you be so anxious? We are talking about more than one person in this country, and you are anxious that you must cling to power even as sick as you are, and you are running down to Nigeria. After 2 weeks, you say you are going back to London. Is that how government is run?
Mr. President,
just now you said to me, oh, he has no power. When you have used the clause coordinate, when Iguala was the coordinating minister, did he connote that he was a substantive minister of that particular economy?
Economic team.
Was it that what he connoted? Coordination does not connote total powers. So why did he leave it at the fact that, oh, I have delegated power to an active president without using that clause? When we mention it, they don't know it's semantic. People say, no, once he say coordinated means that, well, I'm not going to find anybody about that. But the point is that to have imported coordinate means something.
Then let Osibajo complain.
Okay.
Let Osibajo complain.
Of course, we won't be waiting for him to, because he can't even complain. But he can't even complain. That's the problem.
What is the implication of all of these on the polity? Against the background of the series of activities or events unfolding in the country, particularly with the agitations, ethnic minorities, and all of that. Yeah.
Did you notice, sir, that since Mr. President traveled, the insurgency in the Northeast increased? Did you notice it? That the bombing by Boko Haram increased since he's been out of the country.
To help you, just recently, it was in the social media, about 500 e-logs or truck kind new ones were brought in by those insurgents.
So you must find out that.
Ago now.
Do you also notice that since he's been away for over 100 days, the last set of Chibok guests that were rescued, that he received in the morning of May 7th, Sunday, May 7th, were the last set of Chibok guests, and nothing has been said about Chibok guests. Nigerians need to begin to take note of some of these things. Pandev gave the acting president or the coordinating president November 1 ultimatum. Well, Pandev, after discussion with them, decided to recount. But the people of the Niger Delta, the fighters, the militants, have said Pandev is on their own. Yoruba Liberation Movement or Commission or something have issued ultimatum to the federal government, led by one grandson. His name is Grandson. Look, it's either we have Oduduwa Republic or we organize violence.
Yes, I read it.
Yes. So that's there. Ndibu, through Biafra and IPOB are there. There is nothing. We have not had it so bad. Nigeria is in a state of war. When you travel, like I travel on the road, you find military men almost at every point.
Yes.
We're in a state of war. We have never had it this bad. Not the state of road, not the crime rates, not the afflictions that Nigerians are going through. Like somebody said a few days ago, a hungry man is an angry man. Nigerians are hungry, that's why they are angry. When you say we have a country, what is coming to us in the country? So why must it remain there? When people ask you to devolve power, the National Assembly, we kick that one away. Restructure and devolve power, let people go home. By the time this oil finish, then we will know whether we still have a country. As it is today, we have never had it this bad. I pray for Mr. President to recover. But till he recovers, let him remain in Abuja house. Whether you are in Abuja or you are in Abuja house, all of them, there's an Abuja there. Let him remain in Abuja house in London, take care of himself. But if he comes in today, record the address tomorrow, It's shown to Nigerians on Monday morning. By Wednesday, it should come to FEC. If it cannot come to FEC, it should go back to London.
To add to that, you hear recently when Osinbajo has a statement to preach now, hate speech here and there.
Yes.
To me, yes.
Terrorists, describing them as terrorists. They were taken as terrorists.
Yeah, hate speech, yes, ordinarily won't be good. But can we ask ourselves why hate speeches? Can we ask? It is discontentment. It is dissatisfaction. Nothing absolutely is working like he has enumerated.
And that's not enough justification to encourage hate speech.
No, it's not encouraged. What I'm saying here is that government must look at why hate speeches is happening.
Okay.
Don't just go there and say, don't say so.
When does hate speech become a terrorism?
Yes.
Is it before Arewa you give quick notice to Ndigbo, or after they have given them? When does it become terrorism? But as long as those boys in the north are working free after giving quick notice to Ndigbo, nobody should be arrested for anything they say.
Okay. The point that is being made is that if you are sick, you have headache, you go to the doctor. The doctor does not concentrate on the headache physically that is coming. He's looking at why is this headache coming?
Okay, so we should look at the basis or the reason.
That's the point.
We have our first caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
That's the point.
Caller, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Bishop, go ahead with your contribution. Yes, go ahead. Good morning. Okay.
That's what?
Because they coup d'etat. Okay. Thank you, Bishop Iso. Our next caller is on the line. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Yes, good morning, caller. What's your name? Go ahead, please. Thank you for those beautiful thoughts that you just shared with us on the program Politics Today. Our studio line is still open. Please dial it and let's get your views. Let's get your opinion on all the discussions that we've had today on the program. Hello, caller. Good morning. You're next online. Good morning. Good morning. Please turn down the volume of your radio to remove the echo. Go ahead, please. Okay. Yeah.
There's a big difference when the Constitution says the National Assembly can make laws for the country, and the National Assembly shall make laws for the country.
Okay.
There's a very big difference. So I'm surprised that he feels that that asking Osinbajo to coordinate affairs and appointing him the acting president or recommending him to be the acting president are the same thing. They are never the same. Because in English, people are saying it's a matter of synonyms, it's a matter of language. Language matters in English. Can and shall can never be the same. Just as coordinator and acting president cannot also be the same. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But I remember vividly in that letter, the relevant section of the Constitution was cited to back it up, whether it's coordinator eventually that was written. We'll have our next caller on the line. Caller, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Honorable Davis Egbele.
Honorable Davis Egbele, please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to speak on the issue of House of Assembly.
You are free.
I want to say that the action is totally condemnable. They had the required number. They had to turn to have effected leadership change. So the fight was unnecessary, and it does not tell of honorable members. So I don't subscribe to the idea of honorable members fighting before the public. They owe the people of Edo State an apology. Hello?
We're listening to you.
So the honorable members, either the individual members or the leadership of the House, they need to talk to the Edo people why they have to come out to the public to wash their dirty linen in public. That is for that. And for the hate speeches, I want to say that for every action of man, there were some factors that caused death. So there are dissatisfaction, there are disaffection, there are complaints, injustice everywhere. That is why you see hate speeches everywhere. So it's not enough to say hate speeches are not out of a terrorism. You see, peace is not the absence of a war, but the presence of justice. When you have justice in the society, you will see peace. But when there are injustice here and there, all you see is what you are seeing in Nigeria. So really, we are in the state of war. Thank you.
We appreciate you, but we know that for now there is no war in Nigeria. Of course, there are agitations here and there. There are dissatisfaction here and there. Nigeria is not in war. Let's establish that fact. Thank you. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Oh, my name is Bishop. I'm calling from Benin City.
Bishop, please go ahead.
I want to contribute about the impeachment in the House of Assembly.
Go ahead, please.
It is time for us to know that we are in democracy. And democracy is understanding. Is there no better way for the honorable men to impeach their speaker when the number is on the high side? These are candidates we are seeing on the head. That's a big time to become a problem. And we, the populists, we totally condemn it. It's condemnable. And again, I want to talk about the presidency coming to Nigeria to the news that we're today. I can see this Shalda Boju again. Nigeria is becoming so aware, and I thank you for the information that you are giving to us on the television.
Thank you.
The president should be made back in London because he's not fit enough to rule this country.
But you're not his doctors. You're not his doctor. How are you able to ascertain that? You're not his doctor.
According to the news, he told us a few days ago in the news, we heard that he's still not satisfied to come, but we just want, within 3 days, they want to conjoin to Nigeria. And again, the president, the acting president is not the acting president, is coordinating. And the issue of the age you are talking about, you cannot avoid a PH where there's hunger in the land. If election produce corruption, we are having the highest corruption right now. When I'm hungry, I will go for stealing. When I'm hungry, I will do something dubious. So if Nigeria can come, and at the end, the situation can come down, telling the age to stop.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's our last caller today on the program Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio. Just have a few minutes to call it right. But gentlemen, let's get a final word from you guys on all that we've looked at today, particularly the feedback that is coming from our callers. Pastor Phil, let me start with you.
I sympathize with Barrister because when you are in a position where you have to begin to defend what seems difficult to defend.
He has said it. He has said me out. The majority cannot be right.
Okay, so that's where we are. Okay. What the House of Assembly did, whether it was on the House of National Assembly, also not even in this administration, it was in the former administration,
even this.
Where people have to be climbing the roof and all the rest, climbing the gates is condemnable. Whoever have done what is wrong is wrong. Those people we elected there who are honorable members, they should behave honorably and make sure that they do well the next time. The health of the president, we wish him well. As he returns back to the let him resume his work. But if he's not fit enough to work, I will personally advise he should rest more. We are not in a hurry.
Okay.
Well, on my side, what has come out in the replay of what's happened in the House of Assembly is that if you tell the Speaker you have been removed and he goes away quietly, nobody will fight. Nobody is asking for fight. But when you say, I'm still in power, I'm still in charge, that's when people start to interest. No, you must get out. One man went to me and said, please, sir, you have been voted out. And he said, no. At the end, that's how violence comes in. And it's not a proper violence. I still stand on that.
That was a play.
It was just acting. It was a play.
All right.
Nobody was injured.
Comrade, a last word from you.
I will wonder how the barrister is categorizing violence in any case.
Yeah.
But you can see that it's widely condemned right now.
Yeah, but doesn't make all of them right, like you said.
That the act, that act does not portray honors. It does not. It's not honor attached. That ordinarily there would have been a more efficient way in doing what they did. I don't also subscribe to the fact that Okonobo was a little bit stubborn because we watched it. You understand? There would have been no point for anyone to stand up from the down below to come and start strongly the chair from his buttons. Like somebody has said, you have actually met the required number. Yeah. You know, why the violence? So why the violence? So ordinarily the man will vacate by that arrangement. So to me, they must agree. They must agree to be more honorable in future because, of course, their records are being made from the various constituencies where they come. Yeah. And therefore, if I have you in the House of Assembly and you call yourself a fighter, I'll have a rethink. So if I go back to the commission, yes, where you can pay better. Okay. For the president, yes, we have agreed that he's coming. If he comes in well, so be it, because that is what we are praying for. Right. But if it's not well going to play,
but Konobo is still suspending honorable members. That's to speak. Yeah. He's suspending about 12 honorable members. Isn't that saying I must stay put? He's suspending people even right now.
Okay. Well, right now we are discussing what happened.
Not what is currently doing. Even though they are
that's why it's brought back.
All right. So gentlemen, thank you so much for your time and the useful thoughts that you shared with us today on the program Politics Today. We hope you enjoyed it while it lasted. I actually thought we could do something on the attack on EFCC headquarters, but time is always an issue when you have gentlemen like this who are just at home with the subject and then analyzing it. 1 hour would just be like 30 minutes or thereabout. But join me on Monday on TMI when we should look at that issue critically. I want to say big thanks to everyone that called and contributed to the program. We appreciate you. Stay tuned for the rest of broadcast of programs on independent television and radio this beautiful Saturday. Pastor Phil, thanks for coming.
Thank you so
Pastor
much.
Megome, thanks for coming.
Thank you,
Comrade Kelly Ogbalo, thanks for coming.
I appreciate it.
My name is Sonny Duke Okosun. Thanking you for staying with us. Bye for now.
ITV Channel 22.